All right, guys. Today we are going to start reviewing for the end of course exam. So today, Monday, we will review some concepts and then you'll do homework on those specific concepts. We'll do the same thing tomorrow and Wednesday. And then on Thursday and Friday, you're going to take the test. The test is 50 questions. So I just split it up. You'll do 25 questions on Thursday and then 25 questions on Friday, and you won't have a fact test this week. So you just have 3 more homework assignments, 3 more review days, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then the 2 parts of the test. If you want to take both parts of the test on the same day, you're welcome to do that. Okay, that's totally up to you. Your choice. It is 50 questions, so that's why we broke it up into 2 different days. So you only have to do 25 questions. On Thursday and Friday, there isn't going to be a video, so all you'll have to do is take the test. Okay? We are going to review several concepts today. The first concept that we are going to review, we're going to review different types of measurement. So if you have paper, the first concept we're going to review is different types of measurement. Okay? There are a couple things that you are going to need to know for the test. You're going to need to know about like measurement / weight, I guess. You're going to need to know how much 1 gram is. A gram equals pretty much the weight of a paper clip or a dollar bill. Okay, it's very, very, very light. A gram is not, it does not weigh a lot. Okay, it's about the weight of a paper clip or a dollar bill. A kilogram is 1,000 grams. So it weighs about the size, or weighs about the weight of like a pineapple. I don't know how to spell pineapple. It's not like that. Pineapple. It also, like a cantaloupe or a small watermelon, not a big watermelon. So I would say probably a cantaloupe or a pineapple is the best description for a kilogram. Think it's like 1,000 paper clips. So it's going to be a little bit more. It weighs about 2.5 pounds. Okay, that might be easier for you because we usually talk about pounds, not kilograms. So it's about 2.5 pounds. Okay, the next thing that you need to know is, so that's measurement. If you need to pause right here, I'm going to erase this in just a second. That's what you need to know. You will have a question on your test about measurement and weight, but you'll also have a question on your homework about that. So I'm going to erase this, but pause that, write it down if you need to. The next thing we're going to talk about is another form of measurement, which is, all right, how many is in a dozen? Dozen equals 12. You need to know that, but you also need to know how many is in 2 dozen, or 3 dozen, or 4 dozen, okay? So if 1 dozen is 12, then 2 dozen would be 24, 3 dozen would be 36. So you are just going to multiply how many ever dozen they give you by 12. 1 dozen is 12, so 7 dozen would be 12 times 7. Okay, which you should know how to do this. It's one of your facts. 84. Okay, so that is the next piece that you're going to need to know for your homework and for the test. So make sure you know that a dozen equals 12. Pause the video if you need to write this down. Dozen equals 12. The next thing that you need to know is how many quarts equal a gallon. So we're doing a little bit more measurement. How many quarts equal 1 gallon? Anybody know? Think about it. 4 quarts equal 1 gallon. So, question, how many quarts are in 2 gallons? Or 8 gallons? Let's think about that. How many quarts are in 2 gallons? So again, If 1 gallon is 4 quarts, then 2 gallons would be 2 times 4, so that's 8 quarts. 8 gallons would be 8 times 4, so that's 32 quarts. Okay. 1 gallon is 4 quarts, and then you need to know how to multiply so that you can find how many quarts are in 2 gallons or 3 gallons or 4 gallons or even 8 gallons. So those are a couple more things that you need to know. So write those down. I'm going to erase it again. Next thing that we're going to talk about, factors. Factors. So remember, factors are the numbers that you can multiply together in order to get a number. So whenever it's talking about a factor, it will give you a number that it's talking about. So for example, let's say our number is 42. If we are trying to find the factors of 42, we're just trying to find the multiplication problems that equal 42. So the easiest one is 1 times 42, right? 1 times 42 equals 42. So 1 is a factor of 42. 42 is a factor of 42, okay? 2 times what equals 42? Well, you just take half of 42, you get 21. Right, so 2 is a factor of 42. 21 is a factor of 42. Okay, and then you'll keep going, you'll get 6 and 7. Those are both factors of 42 as well. Okay, so the biggest thing that you need to know from this, 42 is kind of a big number, so there are several other factors, but your question on your homework and on the test, it's going to say which of the following is not a factor of 42. So I'm just going to have these be our answer choices. We'll put that in there too. I guess that goes on the other side. All right, out of all of these options, 1, 2, 5, 6, 21, and 42, which of the following is not a factor of 42? Well, we know that 1 times 42 is 42, so those are both factors. 2 times 21 is 42, so those are both factors. Can you multiply 5 by anything to get 42? No. Remember, if you're multiplying by 5, it has to end in a 0 or a 5. Okay. 6 times 7 is 42, so 7 is another factor. Okay, so the one that's not a factor would be 5. So on your test, just remember what a factor is. On your homework, just remember what a factor is. It's numbers that you can multiply by other numbers in order to get whatever number, like 42, that they're talking about. Okay, your question on your homework and the test will be a little bit easier than this one. It'll be a smaller number. Okay, but I just want you to understand what factors are. Okay, the next thing that we need to talk about are percentages. Okay, if I said I need you to find 50% of 10. Okay, let's say I have 10 tacos and I'm going to eat 50% of them. 50% of 10 is 5. Biggest thing that you need to know is that 50% equals 1/2. If you get a 50% on your test, that means you got half of the questions correct and you got half of the questions incorrect. Okay, so 50% equals 1/2. 25% equals 1/4. Those are two things that you need to know. Just memorize this right here, and then you'll be able to do the questions on the homework and on the test. 50% is 1/2, 25% equals 1/4. Okay, let me give you another example, see if you can do it. You can go back in that video if you needed those numbers. I want you to find 50% of 30. 50% of 30. That means you're finding half, 1/2 of 30, right? 1/2 of 30. So that means you do 30 divided by that number right there, 2. 2 can go into 30. I'm not going to do the long division, but it's 15 because 15 times 2 is 30. Okay, what if I asked you to find, let's do 1/4 of 40. 1/4 of 40. Then 1/4, oh, I just gave you the answer. I did not mean 1/4, I meant 25%. 25% of 40, that means 25% is 1/4, right? So you would do 40 divided by this number right here, 4. Okay? I will tell you that you're only going to need to know how to do 1/4 and 1/2. Okay? You're only going to need to know how to do those. There are lots and lots of fractions in the world, but these are the two that are the most popular that you're going to need to know how to convert from percentages to fractions. Okay? 25% of 40 means 4 goes into 40 how many times? It's a fact, right? 10 times. So 25% of 40 is 10. So if there were 40 questions on the test and I got a 25%, that means I got 10 questions right. I got 10 questions right. Okay? All right. That's what you need to know about percents. The next thing you need to know when we're talking about we're talking about playing with some dice, right? If we've got a dice, how many sides does a die have? Has 6 sides. So I'm either going to roll, when I roll it, I'm either going to roll a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6. There's no way that I can roll a 7. There's no way that I can roll a 3.5. I only have 6 options, okay? So when you see this word, it's kind of a weird word, probability. What is the probability of rolling a 7? You would say the probability is none. You don't have it. There's no chance that can happen. Another word for probability is chance. Okay? So is there a chance that I could roll a 7? Nope, there's not. Okay? Is there a chance that I could roll a 2? Yes. What is the probability that I will roll a 2? Your answer is going to be in a fraction. The probability is how many options do I have? We're going to part over whole. The probability of me rolling a 2 is just this one right here. I just have one chance to do it. One out of how many chances or how many different options do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I have 6 different numbers that I can, 6 different numbers that I could roll. The probability of me rolling a 2 would be 1/6, not 2/6. Just because the number's 2, that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about what's the chance that I will roll a 2. Well, I have a 1 in 6 chance that I will roll a 2. What's the probability that I will roll a 4? Also a 1 in 6 chance. What's the probability that I will roll a 6? Also 1 in 6, right? Because these numbers, it doesn't matter what's on the dice. It just matters that there's a chance that you will roll it 1 in 6 times. Okay, next question. What is the probability that I will roll an odd number? Well, this is an odd number, this is an odd number, and this is an odd number. So the chances are 3 over 6. There's a 3/6 chance that I will roll an odd number, which simplifies to 1/2. You don't have to know how to do that part for this kind of question, but you will have those questions later on. But we just went over that a few days ago. So, okay, that's probability. You can go back and re-listen to that part if you need to. But just remember, you do need to know how to do it with dice, okay? It will give you a die and it will say, this is what you did, and you're going to need to know, how do I find the probability? Remember, that means what's the chance that I rolled a 3 or a 4 or 5 or whatever it asks you about, okay? And your answer will be in a fraction. All right, we're almost done today. We only have 2 more things to talk about, and we just talked about them the other day. I just want to make sure you still remember them. Averages and medians. Averages and medians. So I'm going to give you a couple numbers. We've got 3, 7, 8, 9, and 4. Okay, 3, 7, 8, 9, and 4. Okay, and let's find the median. The median, what is the middle number of this set of numbers. Remember, for median, you need to line them up from greatest to least or from least to greatest. So you need to put numbers in order. On your homework and on the test, they might not be in order. So you need to make sure that you put them in order. Okay? I'm going to put them in order in red. Smallest number that we have is a 3. The next smallest number that we have is a 4. The next smallest number that we have is a 7, and then an 8, and then a 9. Okay, so now I can find the middle number now that they're in order. So I'm going to cross the biggest one and the smallest one off. Then I'm going to do it again. The biggest one and the smallest number off. And then the middle number that I have is 7. So the median or the middle number is 7. You need to remember that. Median is the middle number when they're lined up from the greatest to the least. The middle number when they are lined up from the greatest to the least. So if you don't have that written down, if you don't have that in your brain, repeat it like 10 times. Median is the middle number when they're lined up. Median is the middle number when they're lined up. Okay? Remember that. And the last thing that we're going to do today is average. We're going to talk about the average. We are going to talk about how to find the average of certain numbers. Okay? So I'm just going to put a couple numbers up here. Let's do 5, 7, 8, and 10. 5, 7, 8, and 10. Let's find the average of these numbers. Okay? Let's say we had some friends and we had a pizza eating contest and somebody ate 5 pieces, somebody ate 7, somebody ate 8, and somebody ate 10. What's the average number of pieces that each person ate? Okay, so we got to add them all up. So 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 8 is 20, plus 10 is 30. Okay, so we've got 30 pieces of pizza, and we're going to divide it by what? Divide it by 4. So 4 goes into 30, not evenly, but how many times does it go in? It can go in at least 7 times, right? 7 times 4 is 28. We're going to subtract, and we get 2. So there's a remainder of 2. So everybody ate about 7 pieces, right? 7.5 pieces or something like that. Okay? So your average of these numbers is 7 with a remainder of 2. 7.5. Okay? On your homework and on the test, you won't have a remainder. It will just work out for you. Okay? It will work out. So let's do, I'll show you one. It'll be similar. You'll have more numbers though. So let's do, we'll just keep these numbers as well, but we'll just say that we did 5 and another 5. Okay? So you've got, now you need to find the average of, we're gonna switch it up. We'll make them a little bit easier for you. Okay, so let's do, we're gonna have 10, you're gonna have 12, you're gonna have 8. You should be writing these down. 15 and 15. Just kidding, people. Sorry, I'm trying to make them even. We'll do 7 and 13. Okay, now I'm ready. Find the average of these numbers. I'm going to explain how to do this. If you want to pause it and then check to see if you're right, I'm going to go over the answer really, really fast. So pause it right now and you do it and then check your answer with mine. Okay, we need to add up all these numbers and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we got to add them all up. 10 plus 12 is 22. 7 plus 13 is 20. And this is 8. 22 plus 8 is 30. Plus 20 is 50. So if I add all these numbers together, I get 50. And then I'm going to do 50 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 50 divided by 5 is 10. So the average is 10 for this set of numbers right here. Okay, so you do need to know how to do median and average and all those other things that we talked about today. Okay, this will really, really help you for the test. So please make sure that you take the homework assignment today seriously. Okay, if you need to use your notes, that's fine, but just remember that on the end of course exam, you won't be able to use your notes. So use your notes on the homework, that's totally fine. But then after you do the homework, if there was something that you forgot how to do and you had to look at your notes, make sure you remember it so that when you take the final exam, you have it in your head. You have it already in your brain and you're ready to go. Okay, I will talk with you tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll do some more review and some more practice, and then you guys will get to take your end of course exam. So good luck on your homework today, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.